All right, first word. Timid. Timid. Something is timid. What is it? What do you think timid means? Go ahead, Gabby.
You're fearful often.
Yes, you are very careful and often fearful. Says the timid cat would not come off the couch. Next word, strenuous. Strenuous. What does strenuous mean?
It takes great effort or a lot of energy.
Alright, so it means it takes great effort or a lot of energy. Next word, devised. I devised a plan. Devised means to come up with a plan, to figure out a way to achieve that plan. Next word, distress. Distress.
Very worried and upset.
Distress means you are very worried and upset. Distressed. Like, if you know, stress means worry, because that's my root word right here. Stress. D means very, so very stressed or upset. Alright, next word. Odyssey. Odyssey. A long journey that is exciting and eventful. We used a map to plan our odyssey around the world. Odyssey.
Well, I'm sorry, Ms. Piper, can you repeat that definition again?
Yes. A long journey that is exciting and eventful. Sorry, I'll slow down, I forgot. Next word, destiny.
It will eventually happen in his or her life.
Is what will eventually happen in his or her life. Graduating from college was my destiny. And then the last one, mortal.
Mortal is a person who lives and dies.
A mortal is a person who lives and dies. Once they die, if they don't die, they're immortal. That means they're not mortal. It says in myths, gods are not mortal because they live forever. It says each human.
Can you repeat what you said, the sentence?
Yes. In myths, gods are not mortal because they live forever. Just each human living on the earth is a mortal. Means a person lives and then dies. You know I can't hear you when you all talk at the same time. Yes.
Is it living and dying, or is it dying and living?
No, it's living and then dying. If you're immortal, that means don't die at all. You live forever. Hey, y'all know I cannot hear you when you all talk at the same time. Thank you. If you got a question, you raise your hand. You know that. Yes, Gabby.
So it's basically a human, or is it supposed to be like a mythical?
A human is mortal because we live and then we eventually die. Alright. So we're going to look at a new story this week, but we're going to talk about synthesizing, which means when thinking changes and you form, when things change and you form a new idea. You take what you know, you add it to what you learn, and then it gives you kind of a new understanding or a new idea. Synthesizing means to put together information from different parts of a text to see the author's idea in new ways. All right, let's go to page 266 in our reading book. 266 in our reading book. $266. All right, let's look at the genre for this text. So we're looking at page 266. Genre study. Narrative nonfiction gives factual information by telling a story about real people, places, and events. Narrative nonfictions present events in sequential or chronological order. This helps readers to understand what happened and when. Social studies texts also include words that are specific to the topic. Narrative nonfictions include visuals such as photographs or illustrations, maps, and diagrams. It says, look at the title and the image on the next page. What do you think smoke jumpers do, and what do you want to learn about smoke jumpers? Write your ideas below. Write your answer below. All right. Somebody tell me what you think a smoke jumper does. What do you think a smoke jumper does? Go ahead, Gabby.
I think they jump over smoke if there's like too much of it, so they can get past and save people.
Okay, maybe. What do you want to learn about smoke jumpers?
I write it down.
Okay. Alex, what do you think smoke jumpers do? Alex? You gotta speak a little louder, buddy. Did you hear what he said?
Assuming they're firefighters.
Okay, there's some type of firefighter.
Or they're athletes.
I don't know. So a smoke jumper is he parachutes to the scene of a wildfire to help fight it, because sometimes the trucks can't get to it. So he parachutes down to the scene of the fire, of the wildfire. All right, let's turn to page 268. All right. It says an airplane circles above Dutch Oven Gulch, Idaho. At 100 miles per hour, a man stands at an open side of the plane, his hands firmly gripping the side. His heart races. The plane bounces like a yo-yo in the wind. A fire rages 2,000 feet below. The man waits for his signal. Get ready. Go. He jumps straight out, gets his body into the right position, then counts. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004. His parachute opens on 4. Pulled by the static line still attached to the plane. 19 more jumpers follow, and the plane flies off. Smoke jumper Patrick Withen is falling at 13 feet per second, but he feels as though he is floating. Birds faintly chirp around him. Wildfires roar below. Withen lands in a tree outside the burning area. He drops the line, releases his chute, and lowers himself to the ground. All 20 jumpers have landed safely. Now the plane circles back and drops 10 boxes, one for each pair of jumpers. The box contains everything they need for living and for fighting fires for 3 days. Chainsaws, shovels, Pulaskis, which is part axe, part hoe, first aid kits, food, and water. If they have to stay longer, more supplies will be dropped in. The jumpers unpack and get to work. It said, how does what you see in the photograph relate to what you read in the text on page 268? Let me say that again. How does what you see in the photograph relate to what you read in the text on page 268? How does what you see in the photograph relate to what we read in the text? Go ahead, Gabby.
Don't see a fire or like parachuting.
Uh-huh. Alright, so it says in paragraphs 2 and 3, the author describes how Patrick Withens, a smoke jumper, feels as his parachute opens after jumping out of a plane. He feels like he is floating as he approaches the ground and wildfire below. During the time Patrick drifts to the ground, it seems quite peaceful. Once he lands, however, it will be much different. Next page. It says, a smoke jumper's most important task is to create a fire break. That's a stretch of ground in which there's nothing left to burn. No trees, branches, shrubs, or leaf piles. Smoke jumpers try to make the fire burn itself out by taking away its fuel. But why not reach the fire from the ground? Why jump into it? There is a rule that says the closest available resource must be There is a rule that says the closest available resources must respond to a fire. That's often the smoke jumpers, said Withen. A fire truck 30 miles away from a wildfire could take an hour or more to reach the blaze. Airplanes are much faster. Even if we are 100 miles away, we can be working on that fire within 35 minutes, says Withen. There are close to a dozen smoke jumper bases throughout the United States. Thanks to the smoke jumpers and other dedicated firefighters, many lives and thousands of acres of wildfire are saved each year. Let's look at what it says, practice, practice, practice. It says, smoke jumping is not for the timid. First would be smoke jumpers must pass a strenuous endurance test. Then begins 6 weeks of grueling boot camp, physical endurance training, running, swimming, aerobics, weightlifting, and more. And parachute training, jump skills, landing rolls, and chute packing. If you don't like making your bed, you won't like packing your parachute, says Withen. It takes an expert 35 to 40 minutes to properly pack a chute. A beginner might take 2 days. All right, let's look at the collaborative discussion questions on the next page. It says, reread page 268. What kinds of feelings do smoke jumpers experience when they jump to a wildfire, and how do you know? Write it down. Alex, where's your book?
I forgot it today.
Okay, get a piece of paper out so you can write this on that piece of paper. Where, is it at your mom's house or your dad's house? Okay. All right. Are you ready to look at number 2? Not yet? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and read number 2, and those that are finished with number 1 can go ahead and start writing number 2. If you're not finished with number 1, just listen for a second. It says review pages 268 and 270. It says, what do smoke jumper supplies tell you about what they do to fight a fire? And then number 3 says, what kind of people make good smoke jumpers? All right, let's look at these 3 questions. It says, what kind of feelings do smoke jumpers experience when they jump to a wildfire, and how do you know? Somebody give me what you wrote. Somebody tell me what you wrote. I'll start calling on people. Go, Gabby. Right.
But they'd probably be excited because jumping off a plane is fun and they get to save.
Right. All right, so they probably feel nervous or scared. It says the text says hands firmly gripping the sides and heart races. So when you get nervous, your heart races. All right, number 2. It says, what do the smoke jumpers supplies tell you about what they do to fight a fire? Go ahead, Gabby.
They're taking away the fuel and like taking away logs because logs stuff that's in the ground.
Yeah, so they have, they're removing trees and other plants in the forest that could catch fire. They're trying to have the fire stop itself by using chainsaws and shovels. And it takes many days for this job to be done. So they need supplies to be able to survive for so many days. It says, what kind of people make good smoke jumpers? What, Sebastian? Uh-huh. All right. What other type of people?
People that are able to jump high or not afraid of going into fires.
Right. Not afraid of jumping into fires. Also, not afraid to. What about how's their health need to be? Do they need to be in good shape, bad shape, good health, bad health? Yeah. They also need to be able to keep calm in dangerous situations. Because if they go in there and they start freaking out, they're probably not going to be able to get their job done, and they'll probably put other people in danger because of that. Who's him? All right, did y'all write all your vocabulary words?
No.
Okay. All right, I'm going to put the list back up on the screen. Y'all can continue finishing that.
We have the list right here on the board.
Wonderful. Then continue finding those words in the back of the book, please. If you put that water bottle in the cup holder that I put on your desk, it would not fall down. Alex, see if Jody's reading book is in his desk. I'm pretty sure it probably is.
It is.
All right. So here you have something to use to find your words, your definitions. How lucky could one be, right?
Miss Piper,
Yes.
Chris was trying to say something.
Huh?
Chris was trying to say something.
Who is?
Christopher.
Chris? What you need, Chris?
What do you want people to do in their job?
Get a book out to read.
Miss Piper, but you'll be here on Thursday and Friday, right?
What?
You'll be here on Thursday and Friday, right?
I will be back on Thursday, Friday, yes. I know. Can't help it. That's when my days aligned. Is Jody the only one that's not there today?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, you don't need to talk to do any of this work.